Day 48. I hope it's day 48. Is it day 48? I need to start checking. Yes, day 48. I plan to record this daily video a little later. I was going to work for a couple of hours and then get back to it. I just hopped off of a Zoom call from I could officially say she's one of my coaches. This woman I know is going to change my life because I just can't leave her alone. I can't leave her alone. I found her last year and her name is Lisa A. Smith, Coach Lisa A. Smith, and she's a plant-based, vegan, whole food plant-based coach who um who you will want to be your best friend, or at least in your circle. There's people who just speak to your soul, they resonate with you, they kind of speak like you, not like you, but they're authentic. They have humor, they have wit, all the things you value in yourself and you value in other people. And this woman conducted a challenge. I can't even recall how I even found her. It's just, one introduced the other. And she did a 30-day salt, oil, and sugar. It's her SOS challenge, and it's a salt, oil, and sugar. And that was the first time I realized I'm like, okay, I get sugar, but come on, by that time, I was in the biohacking of taking, Celtic salt and Redmond salt a little bit in the morning. So I was like, salt, what's the problem with salt and oil? At least I don't use those fatty dressings. I put a little bit of olive oil with some lemon zest. That's typically my salad dressings. And she's like, oh no, we cutting all that off. She was the first person that really showed me that certain people just can't do moderation. They can only do abstinence. And that's either going to resonate with you, or you're just going to be like, you're going to chalk it up to some random stranger telling you something. She has the audacity to call you out, but also tell you how it's affecting you spiritually, scientifically, and biologically. She's climbed the ropes. She's lost the weight and kept it off. She has a super sharp mind. Her keynotes they're entrancing. She's about that life. And she's an introvert. She says she's an introvert. I'm like, oh, yeah. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. And I just resonate so well with her. So as you know, if you have been following, I had just finished up my other container of a 40-day juice cleanse that I hired a coach. We had an accountability group from all over the world. Pretty amazing. That wrapped up day 40, day 41. It's supposed to only be for 40 days. As you know, I have continued the journey because I am still producing what we know as mucoid plaque, substances, parasites, all that still coming out. 48 days without food, and I'm still producing full bowel movements. And some people would say, oh, that's probably just psyllium husk. That's probably just the bentonite clay that you start taking on week 3 to kind of bind and push all the things your juice has been loosening up for you and your digestive enzymes. So you're drinking about anywhere from 6 to 9 of these a day of the juices in the protocol. So that's loosening everything up. A lot of citrus juice. And so once you start making bowel movements, once you start releasing, you can tell which is clay, which is husk, and which is something that's been in your colon for way too long. So yeah, I can hear that, and I can see how that there can be discrepancies with that. But I'm like, I've seen two evidence. I'm essentially face deep in it. I have never and plan to never look at a toilet that closely outside of this season of life. So I am still producing. And I'm like, wow, I need just a landing pad. I need a landing pad. And there's so many great coaches, there's so many great teachers, but you get so hypersensitive in your body. You're starting to learn your cues again. You're starting to know what actual hunger feels like. Side note, I haven't felt hungry this whole fast outside of maybe 1 or 2 times when I didn't drink that adamant amount of juice. I'm still consuming on average about 2,000 calories a day worth of juice. And no, I don't need protein. No, I have fat, so I'm not starving. No, it looks like my muscle mass has, as the inflammation is starting to just dramatically go down, you can start seeing your muscle mass again because your joints are not inflamed. Your face is starting to thin out. It's not as inflamed. Your thyroid is not as inflamed. Things start to get revealed to you biologically, physically, energetically, spiritually, all that. No, I have never been starved. I have more energy than most people I meet. It doesn't look like I'm losing color. I don't look like I'm dead, which most people in the KFC line, they do. But yet people still want to question my motives. People want to question my experiment on myself. I am not forcing this on a child, on a dog, or nobody. I am doing this as a grown, participating adult, trying to understand who the real me is. Without the comfort of food, without the instant gratification of binge eating, without a relationship to distract you, without the layers that have been pushed onto you of why you achieve and why you do what you do. Once you get down to the nitty gritty, once your drug is willingly sacrificed by you for a greater cause, now you can make room for other things. Now you're going to start organizing your closet differently. Now you're going to start rearranging your food, your room differently. Your priorities are going to start coming up. Your energy to actually get to the things that will alleviate this stress that you put on yourself. Little tasks you love to do now. You got the energy for it. You're not hyperventilating on what you want to eat next. You're not thinking about food. You're not, of course, you're going to have muscle spasms. You're going to have times you want to revert and you just picture yourself bathing with just a rack of Korean short ribs and you're wearing it like a bikini and it's just seductive. Okay. Yes, you're going to have glimpses like that, but realize it's just a passing thought. Oh, that's funny. That's not what we do anymore. Where's my juice? Because this thought is getting aggressive. You drink your juice or you have some bitter tea and it knocks it right out. You're more hydrated than you've ever been. So your knees can stop cracking like you're opening up a box of saltines. You don't have to click. People thinking you're wearing tap shoes going up the stairs when no, that's just your ankles. You have more hydration for your brain. Your brain is not in a just survival, just depleted, mineral deficient state. So instead of sending you alarms like, hey, we need some minerals, it's like, oh, we actually got everything we need. Well, actually, we can probably focus on other things outside of survival, like creativity, like reproduction, like relationship forming, you know, just a couple of the crucial things of life when you're not in this hurricane of your own worry, your own chronic stress, your own lack of proper sleep, your own depletion, dehydration, you're over pleasing, it's just a hurricane. You got so many freaking tabs open, you don't know what to focus on first. You're trying to you fast long enough, your body can't even if you try to give it those same thoughts that would bring on ample amounts of anxiety, ample amounts of just, because at least it's some stimulation. It's some stimulation. Your body knows cortisol. If you constantly feel like you're in danger or you don't know when something's going to be taken from you, that's a hit. That's a hit of something. Yeah, that's what makes you feel alive, right? Yeah. Yeah, the chaos. Remind me of the chaos of the uncertainty. Your body gets to a point where even if you try to stress over something, even if you try to berate yourself with the thoughts of what could happen, what catastrophic thing could occur that would just wipe you out, yeah, the things you've already feared so greatly, yeah, they've already happened, and you're still here. Hmm. You still have a roof over your head. You're still able to make fresh juice, despite if it takes 2 hours. You're still able to connect with community. You're still able to have a microphone and a desktop. You have a phone. You have all that stuff. Oh, and that was one that a couple of my biggest fears happened last year, and I'm like, wow, still here. Still here. Interesting. Interesting. And I mean, when you are your own safety net, when you don't even have a couch that you could possibly swing, no familial support, no nothing. You got to this point because you thought it was the safest point. If you don't have to depend on anybody, at least nobody can betray you or deceive you or take something far greater than what they were willing to give. So you just made yourself a whole little island. So you know what happens when people are on an island and you need help. It feels lonely. You've done everything you can to protect yourself or what you thought was protecting yourself. And it really just isolated yourself when you know you are a social being and every social being thrives in particular environments with particular support or at least particular acknowledgement. Somebody to at least acknowledge something you're going through. And currently, I don't have that right now. So the thought pondered to me, if I can call in the interesting. Okay. A little light exchange. If I can call in the willpower to do a 40-day juice fast, strict juice fast, and stick to it. What else can I call in? Can I call in more audacity? Because that's what I should call in. I'm in Idaho. We have a lot of examples of audacity out here. And I'm like, ooh, I should be taking notes instead of being offended. I should be taking notes. Huh. New concept. At 35 years old, I'm actually learning what audacity is. I think I've naturally had a form of it. Some people say being a Leo, some people saying being the youngest daughter, some people saying why you have the conditioning of wanting to just be a little different, be a little bit out there. I think I've naturally had it, but I was shamed for so long for it. And I kept on calling those people in that will humble me like the people who did it when I was growing up. At least it's familiar. If I shrink small enough, I won't be a threat to anybody. People will realize how loyal I am. Loyal to what? You're loyal to the optics. It's the optics. Who the cares? Let people be on your team who choose to be there with you. When you're not gonna be the entertainer all the time, when you're not gonna be in the good mood. I'm sure you've met a couple of those people because they told you. They said it in their own way, probably, of man, just how I told my coach, I just can't leave you alone. I tell you, one of my good friends, I would say she's a best friend, but Nia, I know you catch my videos sometimes. You're so sweet to do that. Nia is a person in my life I have known since I was 7, 8 years old. She can do no wrong in my life. We have gone in and out of communication, but there has always been a small spark there. There has always been just an unconditional connection there. I laugh my hardest when I'm with Nia. I say with no filter exactly what's on my mind. And she is so great at receiving it and giving feedback. I feel maybe it's an ego thing. I feel so great when people laugh at me, find me hilarious. I gravitate towards those people because they're giving me something, I'm giving them something. Like it's an energetic exchange. It doesn't feel like depletion, you know? And as a natural performer, an applause, a clap, anything, we're like, satiating. Yeah, wonderful. So there's people like that where it's just They can do no wrong. You feel like you know them to the core, and even if they did wrong, there must be explanation for it. There must be reasoning for it. But they have so many outstanding characteristics or traits that just resonate with you that yeah. How great is that when somebody feels that about you too? When the right people feel that, when your tribe, when you start bringing them in, when you just got rid of everything that wasn't you. And it starts with what's in your body. Now, I've shown pictures of what has been coming out of me at day 33 and I think day 30, 37. I think I have a picture up on one of the thumbnails. That stuff is still coming out. Where? Where is it coming from? Where? Oh, all I know is I'm going to keep going till I'm done. And my coach told me, you know you're done when you have little pellets coming out. Baby girl is far from pellets. We're still producing boulders, so I'll keep you updated on how that goes. Anywho, I did something quite bold. So my last container ended last week. Coming off of this, I'm like, I know I do well. I gotta stick with the community because I'm still in a very touchy, sensitive spot. I know I'm going to have another like a lull point of where I'm like, the mind is going to start interceding. Like, okay, you've gone far enough. This is enough. Maybe this is what your ending looks like. The rationale starts coming in like waves. Like, oh yeah, girl, you're right. Like, a little broth won't hurt. A couple smoothies won't hurt. Remember when I say you gotta put your high heel in the back of that's those snaky thoughts? You gotta dig your heel in the back of the neck and like dislocate the skull from the body. That's how aggressive you kind of need to be with your thoughts. Is that too gruesome? I hope so. Because some of y'all need to hear it like that. I need to hear it like that. You need to make sure, even if there was a slight chance that that thought would sliver back into your aura, you want to make sure it can't walk. It can't sliver. Even if it tries to come back, it would be so weak that most of the time you would just probably bypass it. That's how aggressive you got to get with your thoughts. Because as soon as you just look just slightly to the left from your focal point, you're casting the invitation to have impressions put on you. That's similar to the gate coming down a little bit. Oh, I just want to see what's out there. Yeah. I feel pretty secure in here. No, you're still vulnerable, sweetheart. Your habits aren't habits just yet, sweetheart. They are non-negotiables, but they have not solidified into habit and lifestyle yet. It has only been 48 days, which most people say between 21 and 66 days is when people typically form a habit. When you have had a strong addiction, your body is clever. It tried the aggressive brute force approach of trying to make you crave everything at once. It tried to give you headaches. It tried to deceive you into getting some type of stimulation. It can't be just this juice. And you made it through that. Now it's going to try to be a little sweeter, a little more passive. Like, oh my gosh, you're doing so great. Mind you, these projections are versions of you. So they're brilliant. They've been studying you since the womb. Your internal audience has been studying and taking notes since the womb. And it doesn't like change. So right now is the point where it's saying, yeah, this is cute, but are you done with your little project now? Can we go back to what we're used to? Can we go back to what we anticipated? The foods, don't you remember these foods you love so much? How are you going to just keep going on tea dates with your new people? They're going to want to take you out to dinner. You can't turn that down dinner. They want to spend money on you. Oh my gosh. What about this other gathering that you have? Cut it. Cut it. You said you were going until you are done. Now, if you want to stop now, that will be quitting. How do you know the difference between you're finished and you quit? There is shame when you quit. There's still things that need to be swept up. There's still, it's an abrupt decision. To finish is to feel complete. There is nothing else to do. When those gerbil poops start coming out of me, that is complete. There's literally nothing else to do. There's literally, I have completed the mission. I have cleaned my whole digestive tract out. One you can live with, one will hang over for the rest of your life. Because you know you could have gone further and you didn't. You actively chose to quit. So anywho, today was my first day of a new, oh gosh, talk about stretching your rubber band. This woman I talked about in the beginning of the video, Coach Lisa A. Smith. She said this is the last time she's been teaching this program consecutively for 10 years. She said this is going to be her last time. She's going actually to Princeton to further her education. And the theme of this realm is like Ivy League audacity. Audacity. And what's so crazy, I made this split decision. I explained it in my video yesterday, how I've asked for the signs, and because I was fasting already, I was more prone to hear and see the signs as clearly as what I asked for. Talk about a miracle. A miracle. And if you want to see how I broke that down, look at yesterday's video. I think that was day 47. Miracles. I had 4 hours to debate if I'm about to do another multiple 4-figure investment. Mind you, I'm in between jobs. Mind you, my car blew up last year. Mind you, I'm in a whole new home environment. I downsized my condo, everything. This is not always, it's the circumstances are not always going to be promising, but you said you have faith. So why do you repel situations that require you to have faith? Isn't that how you build your faith muscle, sweetheart? I thought you was about it. I thought you had faith. I thought you was going to be a vessel for God. But when the unseeable, when the uncertain, when the wilderness, when you just have to go off a feeling, you don't have all the stats. You don't have all the answers. You know, you just have an inkling that my body could not let this go, especially when I started watching. I had randomly got on her videos, and of course they always hit, so I want to listen to another one. I was like, dang, usually I'm a little more caught up on her YouTube videos. She posts every Monday consistently. And so I was like back to back to back. It's been a few weeks. And I kept on hearing her say this is the last time I'm gonna, this program was never on my radar. I knew about it when I did her first challenge a year ago. It was a different challenge. It was a free challenge. But what I got from it was amazing. Just the crew she has is just top notch, and they ride for her. I'm like, wow, that's the kind of crew I want. My gosh. So hearing this and knowing, oh my gosh, the coincidences that happen, the synchronicities. Today being a solar eclipse and the year of the fire horse, which is all about audacity. It's all about amplifying the things you already are focused on. The themes are just falling together so nicely. No, I don't know how much. At the time, at the account that I had, if you saw yesterday's video, you know I asked for number 777 to see if I should do this. And as I showed on my account, with the account I was using, it had exactly $777. I used, thankfully, they had a payment plan. I'm like, jeez. What you just invested in your juicing mastery class, this next investment is 5 times that. And I was worried about how I was going to do the juicing cleanse. Everything still worked out. Everything still worked out. I was certain that it was just going to work out. It just has to. It has to. So after I got those signals, I bought it and I slept peaceful last night, not knowing I'm like, I am getting close to red line. Going through all these symptoms of just, I rarely get sick. So I know this is some type of spiritual evolution of, or the fact that I just need to rest because we're about to take off running. I feel like you can't help but taking off running around a certain people, being in proximity to certain people. And I had my hair different the last time I saw this woman. And so I came on the screen and it was towards the end of the class. And, we went through like basically, like the first day of college, we went through agenda, we went through the, I was supposed to say planogram, that's merchandising, the syllabus, all that, our resources whatsoever. And it just feels different. And at the end, she asked, yeah, yeah, just do a quick takeaway. I was so nervous. I was so nervous. I'm like, this is how I know I'm supposed to be here. I haven't felt nervous like that in a while. And mind you, it's a Zoom of like 40 people. It was a big class, 40 people. I'm like, do they even know the sacrifice? Do they even know the investment, the faith, the trust it took for me to be here? And then you hear about people who got scholarships. I'm like, well, I probably could have qualified for a scholarship, but gave me, God gave me the signals I asked for. Blatantly, clearly, I didn't have to pant like a dog and search for them. Just, oh, what? And if I didn't see that, oh, I would have saw it in my bank account. If I didn't see that, there was a woman who had a tattoo of a 777 when I was telling her my story. This woman I go get red light therapy with. And I was telling her my story, and she was like, "Oh my God, I have a tattoo right there." It just kept on. It's been showing up so much today. I'm like, okay, thank you for reassuring me that I'm in the right spot, and this is protected by you. Okay, thank you, God, that this is protected by you. I don't know how everything else is going to happen, but I know this is covered by you. So thank you, and I'm going to give my absolute all to this opportunity. I'm acting like I got a scholarship. You're just a little more peppy when you don't have to pay for something, but you're getting the resources. God already paid the bill. Thank you, God. That takes so much stress off me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Because let me tell you, 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 let me tell you. Do you remember? This was Saturday. So this was 48, 47. Was it for day 45? You remember I told you I was doing this musical production gig, and they had said, we appreciate you just coming in and just basically organizing everything, making everything great. So we're going to give you a raise. This is phenomenal. It's the quickest raise I've ever gotten. It's wonderful. Couple of months passed, still doing the duties of a director, which not getting paid for the director, still getting paid for something else. Finally, I had the audacity to ask the question of the status of this going on. Because you can have people, supervisors, people in higher positions, fight on your behalf, I guess, would say that. But nobody can quite do it like you because you are in the position. So I'm not saying go over anybody's head. I'm not saying burn any bridges. But I brought it up to The man who was actually training me, he's an older man. And as you recall from my last video, he said anybody essentially would be lucky to get the pay that I'm already getting for responsibilities. And I said, oh, okay. Oh, gotcha. Oh, so that registered to me. Your value is there's some discrepancy around your value. And because I'm not overstimulated, because I'm not caffeinated, because I'm not hyped up on trans fats and oils, my emotional response to something like that was neutralized rather quick. Of course, there's going to be that initial shock of disbelief, like, what the fuck did you just say to me? Oh, you tell me after the fact. Oh, okay. But if I didn't show up, this show would be quite derailed. The efficiency of what we've been doing would be quite affected. The sales and merchandise, these are all, I know how to get results statistically. I'm like, you see, when I started here and as I started working here, or it's going like this. I'm not saying all correlation means causation. I'm just saying patterns follow. So I said, okay, all right, no problem. Not a problem. I finished the show. I prepared boxes, merchandising, inventory, everything for the next show, so the next show will be seamless. I'm learning you don't have to be petty to prove your point. And there is a point, that adolescent, teenage child version of you that wants to get even or wants to feel vengeful, resentful. And I'm just, maybe it's maturity, maybe it's just all this sunshine and fruits and vegetables in my system that made me realize you don't always have to get the last lick. Thank the situation for actually expressing where you fall in valuation. So you are clear that, oh, well, this no longer aligns because I refuse to be in places where I don't feel valued holistically. There are points where you're just going to have to take a job or you're just going to have to bite your lip for a little bit, but it's so much easier to take it in when you realize it's, oh, you ain't got to take it personal. It's nothing. This is not an attack on your character. This is not a jab to your ego. It's just, it is what it is. It's clarity. It's clarity. Oh, okay. Well, I see our values don't no longer align. So I'm gonna now that I have the awareness, I can choose whether I feel like this situation is temporary and I'm going to be planning my exit strategy, or if I have the privilege to make the decision myself, I can make an executive decision and say, "Hey, this is my last show." And I'm so grateful. I left everything high. How the artists, they've gotten more tips than they've ever gotten. They've had more merchandise sales than they've ever had. They have more just community with the staff, the security, the all that, because I talk to everybody. I want to know everybody's name, what everybody's responsible for. So I'm not I'm not wasting time. I'm all about efficiency. I want to make sure everybody feels welcome, from staff to customers, all that. That's just innate with me. Customer service is just because I love phenomenal customer service, and I show my appreciation. So when you're fasting, I have mentioned many times that situations that have caused emotional volatility or imbalances will resurface again. Just like how I mentioned, people from your past will come up randomly, and how you choose to react, or how you choose to label, or how you choose to judge, your inner audience is listening. I could have easily said, bump this. Y'all are on your own. I had a competitive advantage. They were already short-staffed. It was a holiday, so it was more shows than they were accustomed to. more traffic, more sales, more everything. I debated, I'm like, I could cripple them if I left right now, and I could leave, it's contract work, I could just leave. But I'm like, "You know what? How I do one thing is how I do everything." I realized that in dating, I realized that in opportunities, I want to leave things better than when I found them or when we came together. Even if it doesn't work in my favor. Thank you for the opportunity, thank you for the network, thank you for the expansion. I had a date, haven't heard from him in a couple days. I'm not waiting on his response. I still have a whole ass life to live. If it didn't work, thank you, God. I found a dope new tea place, a dope new coffee place. I had this new experience. I got to meet somebody, connect with. Thank you, God, for the opportunity. Thank you so much. I'm getting that much closer to the things I actually want and who have been looking for me. It's going to be obvious. When I tell you, I got a text message from the director of this whole region, personally text me today. Mind you, the guy I was training under, he was like, "Is this really gonna be your last show?" I'm like, "Yeah." I didn't explain myself. I didn't say, "Yeah, well, it's because what you said and you don't deserve me and you promised me this." And mind you, he got snippy when he was explaining. He was like, "I didn't say I." He was saying he didn't say a lot of things he said. And I had only said that once in a previous discussion when I was bringing this up originally. So fast forward to when he said, "Are you really gonna, are you really done?" I said, "Yeah, it's been a pleasure. We chatted for another half an hour." And I'm like, "Yeah, you guys are all good to go for the next show. It should be good. You should have a spring outing. It's been a pleasure. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much." And you could tell, you gotta let sometimes people ponder where this is coming from because he wasn't expecting it, I don't think. And you don't have to over explain yourself. You don't have to get closure, validation. You just have to make big girl and big boy decisions and trust what you need will come. I'm telling you, the director of the region texted me personally today on the behalf of the company. I want to show you kind of how, look at this. This ain't no game. When you about it, things start happening like this all the time. Mind you, I had an intention to make a clean cut. And I did make pretty good money. I did make pretty good money. Do you see this? Do you see how long that is? And the first words were, firstly, Brianna, let me apologize. She said, I want to begin to, basically, she was like, the people that have worked with you has expressed their appreciation for your professionalism and hard work, and it does not go unnoticed. Going forward, we have a position that will be only for you. Only you will be able to take it. She was like, "I'm sorry for my delay in response. I may be slow to respond, but please let me know if you have any questions." Um, she's gonna have me. I didn't even read all this. I wasn't even gonna open this until tonight. She said, "Because of your commitment, I'm going to back pay you for December, January, and February. You won't need to do anything. We will create a back pay shift that will look like however many hours it takes to reimburse the difference. You are greatly appreciated for your professionalism and your work doesn't go unnoticed. Going forward, there will be a shift dedicated to the assistant director position that currently only you will be able to have." Because on this, the company they use it for, like anybody who has a certain status can get these positions, but she just made me, I'm the only one. Wow, I was not expecting that. Wow. I was not expecting that. Should I take it? Back paid for 8 shows? That's probably gonna be another $300, $400. Not bad for sticking to what you know. And I say this because the faith that I had to hop into this current container I'm in, you had to put a down payment. Like I said, it was multiple 4 figures. But to at least get access, you had to drop 400, and then the rest will be taken out. Mind you, 400 is a stretch right now. I'm moving in faith. And that's exactly what that back pay is going to pay me. You are seeing this live. You are seeing this happen in real time. I did not ask. I did not argue. I did not look for the signs. I made sure we were good right here. I'm gonna do what I can right here. I'm gonna do the best I can to be a student. I'm gonna be the best I can to be a vessel. Leave room for miracles. You ain't gotta argue with everybody. You ain't gotta claim your worth. You ain't gotta tell people why you're so amazing. You ain't gotta. We'll just leave it at that. You ain't gotta. Anything external, you ain't gotta. You ain't gotta. So I'll leave you with this definition that Coach Lisa gave us for what audacity means. Audacity is not about the size of the act. It's about the amount of courage it requires from you. Having consistent pay is the narrative that most people fall into that they need. Paycheck to paycheck is most people are doing it. Depending on the season, I'm hoping this is a short-term season, but that means there's certain patterns that keep on coming up that I need to actually sit with and heal. Because I can call in money and money comes, but it don't like to stay. So I need to be a more hospitable host because I love money. I love freedom. I love being able to get a massage on a random Tuesday morning. I was like, God, I know I was rich, maybe if there was previous lives, but why is scarcity such a thing this lifetime? And that's for me to understand, and that's for me to explore. She said, stop living a life that wasn't your first choice. That one hit me in the gut. I said, ugh. You know, when you get with a hook, I say, yikes. Yikes. Stop living a life that wasn't your first choice. You know what that says? I never wanted to ever be the person that was labeled, the person that settled. Oh, I settled for this. I settled. It makes me nauseous thinking about it. But your brain can rationalize a lot of things and make them normal. Given the input, given your internal audience, given your tendencies, given your awareness. But now, you know you've been called for more. There comes a point where you just don't want resistance anywhere in your life anymore. You just don't want you're fine with adversity, you have the backbone to handle it, but you don't want to be the cause of your suffering anymore, of your delay anymore. So you must have faith during this time and you must be about it. So I'm going to leave you at that. I love you so much. Day 48. is done, I'm about to be in a whole new group of people, and I hope that reflects in how I show up. But I love you so much. I will see you tomorrow. I'm so proud of you. So, so great to be here with you. Have a good night. I love you.